wanted to talk about, what has been on my heart, is the fact that the universe is obviously unconditional love. God is unconditional love. The universe is unconditional love. We are composed of love. We are composed of stardust. And one of the ways that the universe is unconditional love to us, one of the very, very important ways, is by laws, by the universal laws. The universal laws are actually there so that we can build trust, so that we know where we can safely place our beliefs. And so beliefs are just a structure that we use, that we build and we design. We're constantly designing it every single second, every millisecond. We're designing this structure of beliefs, or grid, or whatever, or matrix, your own personal matrix. Beliefs, the structure of beliefs, is just a way that you allow yourself to be, to express how much of your true being you are bringing down through this form. That is by your beliefs. And your beliefs also govern how much you buy into this illusion. And so, well done, by the way, for buying into the illusion, because that is actually everyone's primary goal, is to come down and buy into it and commit to it, so that we can remember it, and so that we can expand in it, so that we can then create the whole purpose of this deal, of this gig that we're in. And our expansion is the expansion of the universe. So unconditional love and laws. So I love to work with sensitive people in general. I'm reminded by Archangel Ariel right before I came on to tell you all that my mission is as a prophet for Gaia and a champion for sensitive people. By sensitive people, I discovered a kind of way into my big awakening was understanding that I'm an empath and a highly sensitive person, and those are slightly different things. And whatever, I know some people don't like, I don't really care that much about labels, but sometimes they can be helpful. Are like those beliefs, and they can help us to bring into a box some areas that we want to keep our eye on. But in addition to empaths and highly sensitive people, and I think highly sensitive term includes a lot of people, because I think it also includes anyone who is a creative, who's an artist. I mean, obviously everyone is a creative, but there are people who whose lives are dedicated to creativity, as creative people are light workers as well. If you paint, if you're a musician, I come from the hospitality industry, and chefs and mixologists and people, and even a lot of the servers, because they love the food and they love what they love hospitality, and they love creating that connection with other people. All of those people, that's the industry I came. And all of those people are highly sensitive people. All of those people are creative artists. So, and that's not to say that an accountant isn't creative. Of course they are. I just like to really help and support those people that obviously I'm most came down with a sensitivity, or with an extra sensory perception of the kind of person that I chose to come down and be, the personality that I selected. And all of those terms actually suit me. So, but with the sensitivity thing is that when I work with clients, when I'm coaching or I'm giving readings, almost to exclusivity, are they some kind of very, very sensitive person? Haven't really attracted skeptics. I mean, I do sometimes on my radio show, and that's totally fine, because Jesus told me that, hey, if they come a knocking on your door, they're asking for healing. So, but the people who and money, they are attracted to the light that I am shining, because they probably have a similar light. So I think it is very important to show yourself unconditional love. And however, love does not mean not pursuing the laws as well. That doesn't mean that being gentle with yourself, that you aren't also holding yourself up to high. Okay, so I'm not talking about standards like, how you eat or drink or dress or blah, whatever. That's all very personal, and we know, each and one of us, when we're doing that, to a degree that is helping or hindering our growth. Everyone knows that. And it's great to seek out advice and inspiration about that, but I'm just not even bothering with that today. What I do want to talk about, when we use the sensitivity that we have, by whatever form we call it, and we allow it to keep us separate, and we actually allow ourselves to use it as a way to judge others. By separating, you're introverted, and meaning that you derive energy from being from within and from being alone. No, that's not what I mean by separate. I don't mean physically separate. And quite frankly, there's all kinds of ways to be in your house now. You can come up, Bubba. And to be connected with people. That's the one beautiful thing that we reminded ourselves that, don't you like the cat ass in the video? It doesn't bother me. I'm just going to ignore it. That thing that we created with the internet and email and all that kind of stuff, and starting back with telephones and radio, we created that because we wanted to remind ourselves that we can do that, like that. Believe that. You're in the Lightworkers Lab because you know that we're all telepathic. That's what extrasensory gifts are. Is telepathy, is subtle vibrational language that we all came into this existence having a greater memory of than as compared to a person. So, and Barnabas is doing that because he wants to be involved with you guys. There's also Franzi and Delilah in here who might pop up. Franzi actually thinks he's in the shot. He's like right here, but he thinks that he's in the shot, so he's helping too. We came in with these remembering the abilities, the things that are above the time-space illusion. We brought them down in with a remembrance, even if at some time we remembered that we can speak with and communicate and commune. We remembered that there is no separation. That and quantum physics is showing us that quantum entanglement is when two seemingly separate objects are in separate locations, and they behave as if they are one. Quantum physics has actually proven that time and space is an illusion, that space is an illusion. And we all say we are in a sea of energy, so of course we can communicate with one another instantaneously, and that's what we did with this beautiful thing called the internet, and again, telephones and everything else. There was a time 100 years ago, maybe more, yeah, definitely 100, I would say, that and certainly even before that, in darker times, that if someone suggested that I could give you a message and you're across the country or some distance, I would be hunted down as a witch, and I would be tried and burned just to suggest it. You know what I mean? And now it is a part of our normal reality, and that's cool. We created a machine. We could believe in it. So, but it's kind of interesting that the people that are afraid of it still, because they have these beliefs that they were imposed upon them by society. So they believe that somehow sensory stuff is scary or weird or esoteric or woo-woo, when it's the most natural thing about us. So it's unfortunate that they are still stuck in this old belief system that isn't allowing them to express their full self. So we say muggles, and that's all fine and good and cute and everything, but the thing is that I would like for us to see that we're lucky that we're sensitive. I don't want us to see others and think that they're wrong or they're, should look down upon them. That I see this in this group at all, but I'm just a reminder that as we go out and as we are out in the world, that we are meant to see and connect with the divine light in others and just notice that. See only light, see only their beauty, and help them to enhance it. And all that your responsibility is to believe in it. That is your most fundamental responsibility, is to believe in that. Believe in Donald Trump's light. Believe in your prejudiced uncle's light, because he is God's child, and all you have to do, all of the rest of it is an illusion. That would be like, because you thought that their hairstyle was dumb, their beliefs are not as divine as they could be, which neither are ours. So all you have to do is place your awareness upon it, and which is another thing that quantum physics has proven, is that when we place when a particle has awareness placed upon it, it behaves differently. You know, you can take a glass of water and you can take words to it, and you can observe that the molecules change. They slow down when the words are lower vibration, and they speed up when they are higher vibration. Fascinating, right? So this isn't even, you know what I mean? Like, it's woo-woo anymore. We're actually finding a way to remind ourselves, like we did with the internet, that we do this. Someone is texting me to see how we can connect right away. The thing is, okay, back to using our sensitivity as a crutch, I would say. Like I said, I'm an empath. That is how I behave in the world. It is important for me to remember that, because I'll tell you what, actually, as I am being an empath, you know, the things that make me an empath, you know, that's it can really be it's a disease. In ways that we understand empaths or highly sensitive people to be, it's a disease. We have to raise that up and let it be a tool, rather than having it be a disease or a disenhancement. When a highly sensitive person is in that higher functioning, the way that looks is, if they feel let's say empaths, I feel someone's emotions or thoughts coming at me. If I choose to believe them, then that is a disease. Now I'm using the empathic abilities as a disease. I have to have extra hypervigilance about when that is coming. I recognize it, and then I let it stay out of my space, and then I allow the reason to come forth as to why I attracted it, why I created that, why I created sadness, why I created this angry person in line, why I created their heartache. Why did I create it? I'm experiencing it, so I created it. So that is, and that just goes to looking at your hologram that you created, and you can backtrack it and decipher all of the symbolisms and take responsibility for it, and then use those unconditional laws as to why you're here. You need to, when we look at the unconditional laws, we don't hold ourselves up against it and start self-judging, because judgment of any kind, is a fear-based choice. Judging oneself, judging another, is a fear-based choice, because you are you're giving up on love. You're giving up on loving yourself. You feel that it's like spoiling yourself. Judging yourself is spoiling yourself. I know, to spoil the rod is to hate. To spare the rod is to spoil the child, and to spoil the child. It's a spoiling kind of thing if you judge yourself. It takes a lot of guts to love yourself. But all you have to do is ask for help in that. And here's the thing, today, actually, night, so it feels like it's yesterday. I've been up since 3 because I'm working on my chakra system, and I'm on solar plexus right now. So solar plexus woke me up at 3 and said, we're writing, and I don't normally have insomnia at all. I was ready to get up because solar plexus is competitive, and solar plexus is my CEO. And I'm getting it back in balance. It's just the first kind of day of this work that I'm doing with that particular. And so solar plexus woke me up this morning and said, you need to look into this one particular area. It's actually this time period in my early 20s, because I have some unforgiveness for myself. And it is child kind of work, but it's placed in my 20s. Of course, it also stretches into childhood, certainly teenagehood and childhood. And I sat there in those feelings of regret for some things, and I said, okay, I know I need to let my emotions flow so that they can change into something else. So I leaned into them for a while, and I leaned in a little more, and I kept leaning, and they weren't changing that much. That I was at a stage of healing this where I just had to say, you know what, God? I don't know how to release this. I don't know how to forgive myself. I don't know how to free myself from the prison of self-judgment. Allow my perfect self-love to express. So I'm just starting one step back, and that is to declare that I want to release it. It's to declare that I want to forgive myself. And I don't know how to feel. That's okay, because I don't need to, because that is my first step in this, is to want it. And I'm feeling so much better about it already. So I want to say that self-judgment is a cop-out, and also over-pampering, and it's the over-pampering of yourself and holding yourself aside from someone and arguing with someone and arguing and actually being on social media and being victimized by the posts that you see. Don't watch the news. I don't know how many times I have to say this. Don't watch the news. God will bring you, if you set your intention for your angels, for God, for, your unicorns, if you know them, to bring you the information that you need to be a responsible citizen. Have that faith, and it will happen. Trust me. And it can happen gentle on you, so that you don't activate the painful emotions associated with it as much. But there are degrees of how active that emotion can be, and then you can be in the prayer warrior place. Excuse me, I need a sip of water. Thank you. And that brings me to a point of, just because you do feel it doesn't mean that you should. Reading, or if you've been one of my clients of some kind, I probably said that to you, and I'm going to say it again. Just because you can feel it doesn't mean you should. So you do feel it, you feel someone else's something or other, and you need to and then analyze why you attracted that into your experience, because the reason that happened is your being is trying to show you something. More of your higher self, true nature, is trying to express and is saying, we have symbolism in all of our literature, all our film and television. We have symbolism everywhere. Symbolism in our dreams, and we think that it's lesser. We think that it's lesser than I don't know, some kind of reality. Like a pragmatist would think, well, that's silly to analyze everything. Sometimes a spade is just a spade. No, actually, I'm just a symbol. I'm just a symbol. I am an illusion and a symbol of my true nature, of my true self, my higher self. I'm just a symbol. Everything is just a symbol. It's just like thinking that, is impossible unless you have, or instant remote communication is impossible unless you have a machine. We created the machine. I didn't, but we did collectively. Our brains created it. It's lesser than us. That can do it. So of course, we are able to look at absolutely every part of our holograph and analyze it. Even this, I have this coaster sitting right here and it's upside down. I can analyze that coaster. What does that mean? Down mean about that? That represents drink. Well, actually, it represents the fact that Delilah always wants to get into my glass and take a sip out of it. What does that mean? You can just keep going and say, what does that mean? What does that mean to me? What does that mean? And this is a way to shift your beliefs, because everything in your reality is a way for you to shift your beliefs to a higher state of being, to allow more of your Godness through. God lives in your mind. You are God. I think Crystal said that earlier today. But you are. We are. We're made of God. We're made of Gaia. Gaia is of God. We are made of soil. And this is an exact imprint of God. So I think I'm done. I think I'm going to look at your questions now. So I probably didn't mention it. I was on a thing, and so I wasn't looking at your questions. So let me just ask if there's anything else to come through. Just as a reminder that the universe loves us unconditionally, and you are unconditional love. And one of the ways that you love yourself, that you are love, that you are unconditional love, is by laws, the universal laws. Okay, to get my face right up in here. That's cute. I'm going to look at Juliana first. Let's see. I'm an empath too. Sometimes it is really hard, but when we learn to flow with it, it is amazing. I like that. I love learning to flow with. I don't. I think it is important to recognize the tendencies of an empath because it's hilarious. As much as I, study this or place my awareness, I still, I slip sometimes. And I was with my girlfriend the other day who's an empath, and she was looking at a video on Facebook that that movie A Dog's Purpose. Oh, I'm so excited about that, and I think I still am. I'm going to check in. I need to do some praying on it to see what the deal is with that, because there was controversy and everything about some dog and whatnot, and how. And so my friend, who's an animal communicator and an empath, was looking at this video, and we actually went to high school together. She's like, these two high school friends who are animal rescuers and work with animals and everything have both posted about this. Horrible it is. And she's like, I haven't watched the video yet, and but I feel like there are all these facts that are coming out about it, that it must be true. And I just reminded her. I said right, but you can release what Jenny and Susan said, and you don't have to watch the video, because I think the video feels very low vibe. It's creating all of this pain, people responding to it in pain, the sensitive people responding to it with pain. And I said, so you can release, not watch the video, release Susan and Jenny what their opinions are about it, and you can go into it with your guides, and you can tap into the situation just knowing that it exists, because you can do that, and you can find out for yourself. And she was like looking like, yeah, I know, but I think that maybe Jenny and Susan have a point. And I said, hey, listen, you can release their experience of it so that you can find out for yourself. And she was like, oh right. Yep, got it. She's like, I forgot for a second that I was an empath. And I do that too. I just did it like last week. I came home from some business thing, all bummed and lying in my husband's lap, all sad and saying, why do I feel like I wish today? And he said to me, you were in a room full of business people, and that sounds a lot like something they would wish. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm an empath. I forgot. And I was I'm on a little bit of a lower frequency that day, and that's okay. Again, you can use that as a way to find new beliefs that want to be changed and that want to express. And this is a point to bring up, something else that's been on my heart that God is talking to me about. Absolutely everything that happens that is negative or positive, let's just look at the negative ones. The negative things are a gift too. I'm going to expand upon it, because I'm just going to give you this simple phrase. Anything negative happens, you want to get to the place, and you may not, it's okay if you don't start there. You sometimes have to just start where you start, and that's okay, because you can't repress them. Just get down there and get uglier, and then they grow roots, and those roots get rotten, and then they grow weeds. But if you put this in your intelligent mind, which is a blessing to us as well, the mind-body-spirit mechanism works. When our spirit is a little bit low, our vibration is low, our mind, because of our studies and our understanding, our mind can remind us, hey, you're supposed to be up level, you're supposed to be bringing up that vibration, right? You're supposed to be, if something negative just happened to you, be finding a way to allow that to be a good thing. You'd say, I wonder what good will happen if this, is always a nice thing to say. But the deal is that the reason that you just need to say to yourself, I'm going to allow this a good thing because I prefer it to be that way, because I prefer the experience to be a positive one, and so I'm going to stay here in anticipation of the positive vibrations to strike my entire being. That this is a beautiful lesson that's going to take me into greater heights of my being, and that is going to allow me to ascend, and is going to allow me to express more of my God self. So I prefer that. One of my videos last week, that since I fell down on this trail and tore my MCL, I prefer that this is a beautiful lesson. And so I'm sitting here in anticipation, and I'm gonna let that anticipation grow for it, because you know what gratitude is? We know that it's a powerful state to create, to manifest from, to create from. But you know why? It's because it is a profound state of Because if you're grateful for having, then that is a complete place of receptivity. So you're not only saying, I'm open to receiving, you're saying, I already have, and I deserve it. It's this really highly charged place of being an allowance of the universe, of God, of abundance, of whatever. And it's also self-loving and self-accepting and accepting of gifts. You're just saying, yes, I don't just need or want or allow. I am. I am that I am. That's, God's name. That was a long response to Juliana's. Oh, cool. Okay. I was going to go for about an hour. Wow. This time we still got a lot of time left. That's kind of amazing. Let me see what's going on here. Gloria. Hi, Gloria. How can I use my life/gifts to best serve the greater good? Gloria, how can I use my life/gifts serve the greater good? Gloria, you are needing to, I'm seeing above your head a golden light. So you have, this is your soul chakra, your soul star chakra. Your soul is above you and it is beaming. And there is a sort of an interruption of flow that would drop down into your crown. And let me ask what that is. Mama, I'm going to give you that. I want you to make a note of I am that I am. Because I want you to feel that phrase is a way to get into gratitude. That you are, I am that I am means I am God. And that means that inside, what is God not capable of? Darling, it's an allowance thing. How can you use them for the greater good, sweetheart? You're walking around in the world. Your name is Gloria. You are glory. Look at what you came into this life. Gloria. I'm glory. I'm God's glory. I'm the glory of the universe. And so 5 minutes a day, and I want you to set a timer. And I would wait with yourself for 7 days to do 5 minutes. We're going to use time because when we're starting something new, we need the discipline of the physicality of it because we believe in something more when we physicalize it. I want you to set a 5-minute timer, and I want you to sit down, and I want you to meditate on the mantra of I am that I am. And the next thing I want you to I am that I am, allow what I am. And to know that your gifts are alive and awake, and you just are in a place where you're moving into greater allowance. And that is okay. That's a lesson. I hope that was helpful. Okay. Juliana, Miss Juliana. So I'm gonna. Here's another Juliana. How to differentiate between things that are messages and things that are information? Is my doubt unfounded because the connection with them is stronger and the signs clearer? Is your doubt unfounded because the connection with them is stronger and doubt unclear? Okay, darling. Your imagination. That was Juliana, right? Okay. Your imagination is reality. If you're imagining, you are. There's a reason. You can analyze everything. So. I'm not sure if you mean thinking that you're trying to ask me like specifically what's the difference between what you're picking up with your clip or what you're just imagining on your own that you're creating from your mind. Well, imagination is a powerful way to allow Claire gifts. So imagination. Use imagination and believe that absolutely everything is real because you know what? It's real anyway. If you created it, it's real, right? The thing what I want you to focus upon though is creating from love, is always making choices. Create fear. I mean, it's not, fear is real. It's you choosing fear instead of love. And if you can disconnect from it, you can even do some little ritual like cutting a cord if you create some fear. Then when you disconnect from it, you disidentify from it, and then you can ask it a question. And you can ask in love, and you can actually, have you ever heard of Ho'oponopono? Ho'oponopono, I'm sure Crystal has, being from Hawaii. I use Ho'oponopono a lot. It is a way to integrate, well, that's it, integrate, period. So if you create something that's fear or something that you're unsure about, identify from it and put it in front of you. You can see the edges around it. Put it in a sack and look at it. and ask it. Just ask it questions. Ask it if it has questions for you. And if you want to, whatever helps you to feel safe, Angel Michael, if it is something that's fear-based, whatever you do to feel safe, to declare that you are safe. Crystal teaches us about dominion. Declare your dominion if it's something that's fearful. Or if it's just something that is you're concerned that you've imagined and so it's not real. First of all, know that it's real, no matter what, because you created it. Bubba, you're going to stay in here. I'm talking to Juliana. Thank you, baby. So, and ask it questions. Ask it why it is in your existence. Ask it what message it has for you. And write it down, or physicalize it is a great way. And then when you get to a place where you feel like you understand, do some ho'oponopono. The shortcut of ho'oponopono is to find a way to say thank you, I love you to it. But basically you want to say to it, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. All those statements true. That's an integration process. So each day, in order to get yourself into more allowance, you want to be using your intuition, your imagination, and there was one more thing I wanted to. Apparently, I'm needing to say your intuition and your imagination. Those are two things you want to, your creativity. Those are things you want to be using every day. Imagination is you being in allowance, because there's no just imagining it. That's what little kids do all day long. And while they're imagining that they're playing with unicorns, there are real elemental beings, unicorns, playing with them. It's true. It's real. I had imaginary friends when I was, lo and behold, as I wake up to, all of my gifts, after I meet my guides, and I started building a relationship with them, they reminded me that they were my imaginary friends and they were real to me. And story, my master guide, his name is Anson. He's got this silvery shiny hair, and he has teeth that actually glow and eyes that are a brilliant blue. This is how I see him. When I was little, I saw him very brilliant. I see his hair as like shoulder length, and I called him Polish. I thought I saw him as a woman, probably because I was little and that was more comfortable to me. And I call him Polish though, because like nail polish. Okay, so that was the imagination of a child. Anson is so real. And Anson, when I have readings with other people see Anson. The other imaginary friend that I had, I called her Little Mama. And I'm from Texas, so I call my mother Mama. And I saw her as this short, like small, called her Little Mama. So another guide that I met, I was communing with her for a bit, and she kept giving me the name Lee, or Lily, or Lilia, or Layla. I saw all of those versions of her name, and I was like, Lee. For 2 months, I'm communing with her and learning about her, and she develops into this more vibrant-looking being. And then one day on a lark, about 2 months of journaling, talking about Lily, or Lilia, decided to go, my cousin put something up on Facebook about some family ancestry, and I went up on Ancestry.com. I had to ask my cousin some details, because my family is so like, I didn't know a thing about them. I didn't even know my grandfather's name. My actual grandfather, whatever you call that, generation, my mother's father. And my poor cousin was like, seriously? Yeah. And so I just, what's my grandmother's maiden last name? Because I didn't know that either. I learned that very easily, my great grandmother on my mother's side, who was not on the planet at the same time as I found her records. Lilia, sometimes spelled Layla, sometimes Lee, and sometimes Lily. And that's because, they kept such a crap job of census records. And I called her Little Mama. And apparently, I didn't even know my grandfather's name, let alone his mother-in-law. So that's my imaginary friend. So I hope that helps you, Juliana, because your imagination is a channel. That's how you channel. It is. You just have to start believing it and trusting it, having faith in it, because having faith in it is having faith in yourself. Having faith in yourself or confidence is allowance of God. Oh yeah, I know. Ho'oponopono is the best, right? It's so powerful. Okay, Nandini, I'll appreciate any messages you have from the spirit for me, please. Oh, it's LSS, and I thought it said piss, and I was like, well, that's rude. Hold on a second. I'm gonna let Barnabas back out. Nandini. All right, darling Nandini. Okay, Nandini, I see you very connected with Earth. I don't know if this is a symbol. Okay, actually got an angel flash. What does this symbol mean? This symbol is, I see you communing with Earth. I see you walking on a path. I see you in nature. And what is this symbol, please? That you have a very strong connection to working with Gaia energy. Does this resonate with you, Nandini? I'll wait and I'll let you respond to that. And so you're looking down at the earth, and I see spirit is encouraging you to start looking up. And the looking up is about having confidence and moving in your power, that you are extremely powerful, and that you really take energy from Gaia with your, and it's a beautiful thing to be very committed to this third dimensional realm. It's beautiful. You know, you hear sometimes people saying like, oh, I don't belong here. Oh, yes, you do. But sometimes you feel, but sometimes the grounding is like, sometimes you feel a little bit weighted is what this is about. So that's why you're downcast when you do this. So keeping your roots and keeping your groundedness, but just being able to allow more flow so that it goes all the way up, so that you have this strong connection with spirit as well, flowing in at all time. I see. Okay, now I'm getting a vision of you doing some. What is this symbol? This symbol is writing or creating words. Creating words. Okay. So actually, see that maybe some automatic writing would benefit you well as a. Yes, that's what that's about. That is about automatic writing. Okay, so this is telling me that you have a very strong talent for channeling. I don't know if you're already doing this. And if you are doing some channeling that's like, this, that also do the automatic writing. Automatic writing, you're going to be, I'm feeling like this wave of beauty, that the automatic writing that's going to flow from you is going to be so gorgeous, because it is going to come up from Gaia. Nice synergy of very, very high vibration, and the high vibration yet dense energy connection of Gaia and of spirit, of the higher realms. And your writing will bring that out, and it's just so gorgeous. I'm seeing it like as if what you've put down on the page, whether it's paper or computer, it doesn't matter, because I actually see you typing that. Swirling like it's all the colors of aura, like it's actually producing an entity, a rainbow entity. It's channeling through a rainbow entity. So anything else? I see a kitty cat. And what is this kitty cat? This kitty cat is actually a spirit animal. This, I don't know if you've had a kitty cat before, or if this, let me ask him. Well, he's showing himself to me as a wild, which is, what are these called? These wildcats they're European wildcats, that's what they're called. So they're a bit larger. We technically don't have them on the US continent, so I don't know if that is also indicative of where you live or have lived. But continent, and they're also on the Asian continent. And so this cat is, what do you want to tell me, sweetheart? Okay, this cat is telling me that you have been a cat before. This, you're bringing into this existence that kind of sensuality, that kind of fluidity, but also the keen knowing and the keen seeing and hearing and sensing on the physical plane. And there's that seamless line to the higher plane. So I see that sometimes you could be having your audience and clairvoyance, where it's actually physicalized. We usually, hear and see in our mind's eye and our mind's ears. But every now and again, if you are okay with it, that you have the capacity to have it physicalized. So you might actually see something out of the corner of your eye, a beautiful spirit or elemental, even because you're so connected with Gaia energy. With your physical eyes, you might hear something. You might, and that goes to even things like hearing messages in songs and hearing messages that you pick up in other people that you pass incidentally. All right. This kitty guide is really cool. He's so you could connect with him. I'm not gonna. It feels like a masculine presence, even though he's showing me sensuality, but he's also a balance by being a masculine presence. Let me see if anybody is perfect, Tricia. Oh, and this is Juliana, and I do love the way you give your messages. Thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. What else we got? Any guidance from Spirit would be much appreciated from you. All right, cool. Okay, Nikki, so I'm seeing expression from the throat chakra. I'm seeing, but singing also for me is a symbol for inspirational speaking. So, moving into that fifth dimensional experience, and to explain that to you. So each of our chakras ways that help us to manage energy from the requisite dimensions. So, oh my goodness, my Texas accent just slipped out. I said dimensions and not dimensions. So the first dimension is to handle head on. So we have that that chakra to help us to receive and give into those dimensions, and so on and so on. Even the third dimension is a little too dense. So fifth dimension is what I'm seeing. So I see actually that you had a block in the throat chakra area, and that you're primed and you're poised for it to open right up. And actually, if you accept this right now, how about this, darling? Can I ask your permission, and without even waiting for you to write it up on the message there, I'm going to accept. I'm going to take the fact that you were here and you're talking to me, and like Jesus said, you showed up at my doorstep. I'm going to expect that you want healing. I'm going to do a little energy clearing there in that throat chakra. And after we do this, you're going to feel pretty buzzy for a couple. You may find yourself being a bit more charismatic for a couple of days. It's all fine because it's fifth dimensional and it's higher energy. And so just make sure that you bring light down into all your chakras so that you're bringing down light. You're bringing up from your heart, and you're also bringing down from divine. And so here we go, throat chakra for Nikki. Okay. All right, gorgeous. Okay, so what I'm being given here. Oh, this is lovely. So what I'm being given here, this little ball it's swirling with all kinds of, it's like white swirly mist, and it's got every kind of metallic color flecking all through it. There's bronze, silver, and platinum, and it's just flecking, like almost like those what do they call them, stress jars, where you put some glue in a thing with glitter and you shake it and it's all these beautiful colors. It's kind of like that. The sparkles are coming up from the mist in this light ball, and like just showing themselves at the edge and like flashing through, and retreating back, and then flashing through again and retreating back. And I'm being told that this is actually stardust put into your throat chakra. I'm going to hold it here for a second, and I'm first going to ask you with your intention to allow me in. Actually, I'm going to go in from your heart, so if you'll open your wide. Thank you so much. Good job. Thank you. I can feel it. Okay. So first of all, right in the center of the heart, we just have something that is, it looks like it's interesting. It looks like a red balloon. And what this is something that's really old, and it's telling me it's doubt. And it's showing itself as a red balloon because it's so minor and it's so just ready to like. So taking that out, and that's gone, and we're just a little plug of light. And this little plug of light, it's cute. It kind of looks like a cork that's made out of etheric silvery light. So there we go. We got that in there. I'm standing in the middle of your heart chakra, offering from your heart chakra. I'm offering this light ball with the specks and the mist, and it's just going up because it wants to help to open up that channel so that the heart doesn't have to bypass the throat. Going up through this way from underneath, and it's just sitting at the bottom of your throat chakra. And as it does, it's spreading out. I see it spreading all around, and so what it's doing it is illuminating and cleaning, brilliant, all of those petals of the throat chakra. And also as it's doing that, it's displacing, and just there was a very, very slight mist, a dark mist. It's not even a big deal at all. Like I said, it feels like you've been on the precipice of this and maybe have already been feeling this opening and awakening in this fifth dimensional area. And so it's just, poof, it's just lifting off, it's going into the light, it's being translated back into light. Just getting a little of that sprinkled down, and as it sprinkles down as a transmuted gift to you, it's entering through the crown chakra, going down to third eye, and finding its way atop throat chakra, being a redeemed bit of energy where the energy that was spent that wanted to be released. So I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna take a sip. Okay, we've got a few minutes left. Let's see who's here. Okay. Says, I'm opening way up. Hope no one minds. Lost in my relationship, and I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. I never thought that I would doubt what love is. How can I tell what is true? Darling, if you want to tell me your partner's name, that might help a little bit. But I'm going to go ahead. Okay, sweetie. Right away I'm getting that there's been a shift. There are some hurt feelings. I see the partner who is feelings are also hurt, and so this is creating a divide. And what has happened, I'm feeling what I'm being shown is that there's just, oh, you said that actually, shift. There's been some shift in vibration. So the feelings are hurt. The feelings feel like, I don't know you anymore. You don't know me anymore. And first of all, that's untrue because thank you so much. Okay. Oh. So feelings are hurt as well. And now I don't want you to think that as you're ascending that, you know, we lose people and so, you know, it's a bad thing. Ascending and awakening and moving ever more into our enlightenment is a good thing no matter what. And the only way that you could possibly have is to move forward, to become more yourself. Otherwise, it's going to fall apart anyway. I mean, life falls apart if we don't continue to become more ourselves. You guys have a very strong love. We just have right on top of it. Okay, let me change that a little bit. You do have a very strong love. Right now it feels really compressed and it feels like it's hard to find because when you reference that love, that bond that's still there, you actually respond, it feels painful because it feels like you're separated from it. It's sort of like it's like you have a grief about it, like it has died. And the way that we experience, the kind of grief that we experience when we lose our loved one, you know, physically when the body dies. And we go through this grieving period because we believe that we're separated, when of course we never are, but it's perfectly natural. And so the message here is that you have this because of the differences that are sitting on top of it. And that you are in a place, you're at a crossroads. You're not choosing to be on the same path, hand in hand. What will work best is that if you go ahead and accept that, and you don't have to separate, can do right now is to accept that there is a change and that there is a difference, because right now there's too much emotional charge about it and you can't see what's what. So you can't even feel what choice you want to make. And you look down and you feel down and you see that love, just respond to it in pain. And so the best thing that you can do is to release as best as you can your judgment of what's happening, your fear about what's happening. You have a lot of fear. I'm going to lose them. I'm going to lose them. I don't know. Am I going to lose myself? So release your judgment of that. If you, like what I was saying earlier, prefer to see this as a good thing. Prefer to see it as a lesson in that is giving you both. And you guys are here. The whole point of relationships is to be able to know yourself better and for the other person to know themselves better. That's the whole reason that we have relationships, is to be mirrors of, and to allow that reflection to come into us and to respond to it, not to take it on perfectly. So I feel now I'm going to ask what happens if you release the judgment of what's happening. You're going to have, and when you do that, you're going to be able to see a way to make the relationship work, to enhance the love. And then, of course, it's still upon Daniel, but I feel that if you can release that judgment and just start making choices of love, just say, every single choice I make in love. Every choice I make in love. And I always choose love. Every single choice that I make is love. It's not fear. Of course, don't judge yourself if you accidentally choose fear once. You just take a step back, take a breath, and say, okay, I'm learning how to choose love again. I'm learning how to be stronger in choosing love. And I feel that, I'm seeing a vision that if you can release that judgment, your energy starts to shift back, that love feels more than you have a grief response, you have a connection response to it. Yes, we have love. And you present that to because we shift our vibration about something, we shift our vibration, everybody else's vibration has to shift as well. I got it, thank you. And so you're going to come up and you're going to make a strong choice is going to be regret. And I mean that it does feel to me like you'll find a way for the relationship to keep moving forward in love, in romantic love as a partnership. But but if you happen to get to that place of clarity, actually, not so much. The best thing to do is to uncouple. Now that's going to be just fine with you too. That seems like less of a possibility. I like giving predictions. I'm just, as you know, looking at the grids, right? And seeing the potential choices that are coming up as we're talking right now. And this is what it's looking like in this very moment. You can make 10 radical decisions the next moment, and they're going to, and you change absolutely choices that you had made yesterday and today and tomorrow. So everything could change. So this is what I'm holding on to that I was given for you. A little practical exercise is to write a letter to your love. So write a letter, simple, go ahead and let your heart out as a way to start. You're not going to give it. That's actually, the strong suggestion is you're not going to give it to after you write that and you just open your heart up and see the emotions, even if they're painful, then just go ahead and put that aside. That's just an exercise to open your heart. But then I want you to write a letter to your love. And I want you to do ho'oponopono with love, with the love. And, I forgot your name. Yeah. Okay. So write a letter to your love. And ho'oponopono is, you can easily Google it, or you can listen to the beginning of the video. H-O''O''Oponopono. Yeah. Do ho'oponopono to your love. See it as a being, because it is a thought form that you have created. And right now are just on the outs with their love, that it's like your child and you're having a rough time right now. So you're going to get back on track one way or the other, and it's going to be good. Okay, that's your reading, darling. We have lots of wild cats around here. I'm Maritas. Oh, Nandini says, has to do with actually where you live. Okay. Nandini is so true. Yay, I'm glad to hear. Oh, you're good. Oh, beautiful blessing. Love you so much. Oh, you guys. My time is about up. Oh, Oh, I'm a little bit over, and that's okay, I think. Crystal, good. Oh my gosh, I love that the love you share with someone is a thought we can actually interact with. So lovely. Great. You're such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. Thanks, Crystal. Thanks for saying that. Absolutely everything is really like a thought form. So let me explain what a thought form is. So a thought form is sort of something that is, so we have basically energy kind of expressed in ways, particles and waves, right? Waves are expanded energy, particles are contracted energy, and we need both because, just look at our breath. We have the expansion, which is gorgeous and beautiful and reminds us we're taking in spirit. We have the contraction, which is release. And we need that as well. We need both. They're perfectly beautiful, both of them. So we need to be measuring our vibration and just playing in the astral, but come back down to earth and say, guess what? Gravity is a thing, and my feet are on the ground, and I have to use the bathroom sometimes. We need all of those things because we're here in this high form of spirit and physical. Okay, so thought forms are when our thoughts, which are waves, they start up, their thoughts are waves, wave expanded energy, and contribute a lot of like energy to a particular focus, start to collapse a bit and become something more particle, something more particular, something a little more contracted, more real. That is like that we create. It doesn't act on all dimensions like God's creations usually, although they can. Maybe we can participate in that by something like procreation and that kind of stuff. Channels for that which is in dimensions, but thought form is really like an entity or a being. So how people have experiences of demons and stuff like that, or even like the chupacabra and stuff. Some of that stuff is real. It becomes real, but partially real. So a thought form is part expanded and part particle energy. It's part expanded wave energy and part particle energy. And it's not all bad stuff like demons. It's also good stuff. Okay, so that's my time. And oh, Jessica, okay. If you guys don't mind if I'm going over, I hope I'm not stepping on anyone's toes because Jessica just asked if I could pick up tulpa. That's right. Tulpa is another word for thought form. And again, tulpa sometimes can be, some people think tulpa is a bad thing because they can't, tulpa itself is a neutral thing. Jessica, I struggle with forms and keep my focus on spirit. I struggle with those thought forms, keep my focus on spirit. Is that what you want me to read, give a little message about? You struggle with those thought forms and keep my yeah, so the thought forms, they, like I said, they don't exist on all dimensions. Spirit does, obviously. That's source. It's okay, Tricia. I'm sure you need rest. It's no biggie. Well, that's okay. I already kind of started. So do you want me to talk about the and trying? Do you want me to talk about the whole thought form thing that you said you struggle with thought forms? You want me to ask about that? I'm gonna let you do question, let that come through because you always have a lag. And in the meantime, I'll let Jessica be my last question / message reading, whatever she comes up with. Oh, no, just any messages come through for me. Laugh out loud. Let's see, Jessica. Ooh, you are about to have another, I don't want to say, okay, the way I'm going to say it is, it sounds like it's not a deal. You're going to have a mini ascension, and it's actually a good thing that it's a mini because we don't want to go too fast on things, because if we move up to, let's say we take a leap that our body equipped for, then we'll break our legs, right? So it feels like it's moving a little slow right now. You feel like you've been at a plateau, and I see you, it's just basically like this, like you're moving to another plateau. Oh my goodness, darling, and you just hurt your knees because I see you taking, it's an interesting symbol there. Oh, and the knees, which I know about you guys from, she fell down and hurt her knees. And so and we already talked about how it's about paths. So a little faster than you're ready to move. But again, it becomes a blessing. So what I see, and I'd forgotten about I hadn't thought about the knees until then. I see you on a plateau, and then I see you taking a nice step. Like you're totally capable of it, because it's like your leg can reach up to it, so you can actually do it with as large a step you can take without having to like pull with your arms or anything. And then your muscles have to lift you too. So it's going to be very rewarding, because you're going to feel your power and you're going to get to own all of it. And of course, you're going to be grateful for all of the strengthening, all of the lessons and all that kind of stuff that you received from Spirit to be able to do that. But it's going to be really cool, and you're going to get up there, and it's like the breeze is so beautiful and the view is so expanded, and you feel very alive, like more alive than you felt in a while. Kind of, it's like, again, like an awakening or an ascension, where you know, like whenever you probably had, I haven't heard it, but I'm sure you haven't opened up to your gifts. You're going to have something like that happen. And I actually do see some new gifts showing up for you. They're going to just be like, bing, guess what? You have this now. Guess what? You have this now. And they're about perception. And I know you're already extreme, and that your gifts are very, very strong and all that kind of stuff. But when you get to this new plateau, then you're going to believe in things in a way that you didn't even know you weren't believing yet before, because you know, you were where you were, and you are that I am, and that is good. And so then you're going to be on this new plateau, and it's going to be super exciting and exhilarating, and you're going to accept it, and you're going to just be in so much gratitude about it, and it's going to be beautiful. And I see you happening. I see new things happening from there. I see new opportunities popping up, so much so that you're like, dang it, I'm so rich, I don't even know which one I don't want to do. But it's going to be okay to not do some of them. And you're going to probably, like, say if you have 5, you're going to pick 3. You're going to be just kicking butt and taking names. Gorgeous. Can't wait to see it. Woo. Okay. Woohoo. Yes, indeed. All right, cool. So I am making sense. I'm ready and feel it coming. Yeah, exactly. And I'll just tell you, like I said at the beginning of the video, that I'm working on my chakra system. And so when new things are happening like that, when you're making these leaps, then you feel, woohoo, just keep heart, because don't let yourself get overstimulated or overwhelmed, because if you get a lot of opportunities, you will want to make sure that you intelligently and spiritually and being select the right ones. You want to make sure they're your true desires, because you can, you know, when I opened up my root chakra a couple of weeks ago, I had like all this stuff show up on my plate, and it's like, okay, I need to slow down, root, slow down. I don't even know how much of this I actually want. And then, I mean, you don't want to be greedy, because there's no point in that. It has to be aligned. So just a little bit of, you know, just take a breath as things start to happen for you.